Welcome back, gamers. Today we'll be checking out the super fun dice rolling city building game Machi Koro. Now last week I checked out, in preparation for this, the game Settlers of Catan, which I played for years and years, and I put up kind of a controversial, I guess, review of it. If you want to check that out, you can click up here to jump to that, see what I think about that, and then you can come back to this and see why I think this is just a better, more fun game. Of course, if you already know how to play Machi Koro, go ahead and click on the box to jump right to my conclusions. Otherwise, let's find out what's in the box and how you play the game.
It's board games with PeedMont.
Inside of Machi Koro, you will find one nicely full-colored rule book, which is everything you need to know about how to play the game in the turn order. Very nice. It comes with 2 dice, one blue, one green. I like it. They're nice, very kind of chunky dice. They're light, but they're rounded. Not bad. Then you get 1 bag of coins, and this comes in different denominations from 1 to 5 to 10. Very cool, and the little crowns on the back, they're kind of neat. Very nice for keeping track of your score, and it's just fun to play money. Someday I'm sure there will be a deluxe edition with metal coins. Then it comes with enough cards to set up and start for 4 players. Basically each player gets 1 radio tower, 1 amusement park, 1 shopping mall, 1 train station, and then a bakery and a wheat field. And like I said, there's enough of that for 4 players. And then all the cards you need to play the game. Everything from stadiums and bakeries, cheese factories, mines, forests, and if you purchased it from the stores early, you even get some of these Gaming Megastore special promo cards. Very cool. Finally, the last thing I'd just like to show you is that the box is actually very large. Let's see, actually I have to move the camera here. For what you get, and that's because it's made to fit all of the expansions that are coming out in the next couple of years. I still think it's a little bit big and it could have been a little bit smaller, but it's nice that that space is there for that. In Machi Koro, you've been elected mayor of the city, and it's your job to make the best city. You do this by completing 4 different landmarks faster than any of your other competing cities. You have a train station, a shopping mall, an amusement park, and the radio tower. You take turns rolling the dice, collecting money from your establishments, stealing it from other players, constructing buildings and bakeries and farms and forests and everything else to try to be the first person to finish these and have the most awesome city. As a quick FYI, I play with a variant from the upcoming Harbor expansion where you shuffle all of the cards together and have a random assortment of 10 buildings at any given time. If you play based on the way the rulebook says, you put out all the buildings and every player can purchase every building, but this tends to devolve into a few strategies of getting cheese factories, getting furniture factories, or getting the fruit and vegetable stands. And this way, shuffling up the cards, keeping it random, keeps the games fresh, and makes you kind of think on your feet and act a little quicker. To start the game, you're going to want to grab all the money, put that somewhere easy to grab. You're then going to give each player 1 set of landmarks, and they each get 1 wheat field and 1 bakery. I'll just take those and set these out here, and I'll keep these upside down just to show that they're not able to be played. Next person gets their 2, and 1 of each landmark. Then, you take the deck of establishments, shuffle it up, and you're going to deal out 10 unique buildings. This is going to look something like this. You're going to take the deck, flip 1 over. We have a stadium, fruit and vegetable market, another fruit and vegetable market, so that's just going to double up. Furniture factory, apple orchard, apple orchard, apple orchard, apple orchard, cheese factory, TV station, etc. until you have 10 unique buildings. This is a variant from the upcoming expansion, the Harbor, and this makes it so that not every building, not everything is available right from the start, and there might not be every single apple orchard even might not be out there. This way you have to kind of adapt to what's going on rather than just focusing on one basic strategy. I really like that, and I'm glad they added it as the kind of the official way to play with the new expansion. Once you have the game set up, you determine who goes first, and that player takes 1 die. Now at the beginning of the game you can only roll 1 until you build the train station, which lets you roll 1 or 2 dice. And this means you can only roll 1 through 6, and the cards on top are related to those numbers. So right now, the wheat field has a 1. It just says, when any player rolls a 1, you get 1 coin from the bank. Conversely, the bakery that you start with has a 2 or a 3. And this says if you roll a 2 or 3 on your turn, you get 1 coin from the bank. And the cards are all like that. Blues are always on anyone's turn. Greens are only on your turn. Reds steal from other players when they roll the corresponding number. And purples basically steal from other people when you roll the number on your turn. Purple's kind of the most powerful, and there's also an order of which these things happen. Basically, red happens first, then green, then blue, then purple. And that's important for some of the expansions when there gets a little more overlap in numbers, but it doesn't happen too much in this kind of base set. Each player also is going to start with 3 coins, so that even if they don't roll any of their numbers in the first couple turns, they'll be able to purchase something. So on my turn, say I start first, I roll, and I get a 1. A 1 says, on my wheat field, get 1 coin from the bank on anyone's turn. So maybe I would get 1, and actually my opponent would get one also, because they start with the wheat field. I can then take, after my roll, 1 purchase, and I could use these coins to purchase any of the cards that are available. Maybe I want to go for that cafe so I can steal coins from other players that roll 3s. I purchase that, I put it in front of my buildings, and I draw from the top of the deck to add a new card. It's another cafe that fills it in. But if it was something else, it was another mega gaming store, I put that along with that and keep going until I have 10 unique buildings. Now the landmarks each have a unique special ability attributed to them. The cheapest one, the train station, cost me just 4 to purchase it, which is down here in the bottom corner. And when I do, I flip it over and it says you may roll 1 or 2 dice. So I get to choose on my turn. Next, the shopping mall says each of your cup or food establishments earn 1 extra coin. These are things shown up here in this. The cafe is I guess it's a cup, so I would steal 2 coins from a player who rolled a 3. The bakery, it's one of these kind of food cards, and I would gain 2 coins from the bank on your turn. Next is the amusement park. It says if you roll doubles, take another turn after this one. This is very powerful, but doesn't happen as often as you might think. And finally, the radio tower for 22 coins. Once every turn, you can choose to re-roll your dice. And if you're rolling 2, you have to re-roll both dice. You can't just choose to re-roll one of them. Finally, the last special thing about cards is that if you have a stack, say I have 2 convenience stores, it says get 3 coins from the bank only on your turn. If I have 2 of them and I roll a 4, I'm going to get 6 coins. 3 for this one, 3 for this one. So you have to be really careful when strategizing not to let one of your opponents get all of one type of card, because they can just get a huge payday if they finally roll that number. Each card has a cost in the bottom left-hand corner that shows you how many coins it takes to purchase that building. So in the case of the TV station, you actually need 7 coins before you can purchase that. The same thing is true of the landmarks. The train station costs 4 coins to purchase, whereas the shopping mall costs 10. And it goes all the way up to the radio tower, the most expensive in the base set, costs 22. Just wanted to show off a couple cards and the combos that you might see in the game. Now the ranch, on a roll of 2, gets you 1 coin from the bank on anyone's turn. Its counterpart, the cheese factory, on the roll of 7, basically the most common roll if you're rolling 2 dice, you get 3 coins from the bank for each cow establishment that you own, only on your turn. And this can very quickly ramp up. If you have 3 ranches and 2 cheese factories, suddenly you're getting 6 coins times 3, 18 coins on 1 roll of the 7. So you have to be careful and not let one player get all of these. Ooh. Next, kind of similar, is the apple orchard or wheat field and the fruit and vegetable market. The wheat field you saw in the beginning on a roll of 1 gets you 1 coin. The apple orchard on a roll of 10 gets you 3 coins on anyone's turn. And the fruit and vegetable market on a roll of 11 or a 12 gets you 2 coins from the bank for each kind of grain establishment you own. And the same thing can happen here. You can have a lot, since there are 2 options for this, apple orchards and wheat fields. 1 roll of 11 or 12 and suddenly you're swimming in money. Finally is the mine in the forest and the furniture factory. The mine on a roll of 9 gets you 5 coins from the bank on anyone's turn, and the forest I don't have out is on a roll of 5 you get 1. And the furniture factory on a roll of 8, a really highly common roll with 2 dice, gets you 3 coins from the bank for each gear establishment that you own only on your turn. And the same thing, since there are 2 kind of gear things, and this is a highly likely number to be rolled with 2 dice, you really have to be careful to not let one person get all of these, otherwise they're just going to have a huge amount of money. And that's basically Machi Koro. You try to be the first person to flip over those landmarks, raking in some money, stealing from other people, rolling your dice, and I think it's a lot of fun. Now, I have to be honest, some of the things I nailed Settlers of Catan on are also present in this game, but I want to talk about those things. First, this game understands that it is a dice rolling game. Throughout the game, you are purchasing new buildings that modify what are successful rolls for you. You do this every turn, and you can adapt instantly to what your opponents are doing. You watching what they do, that's your turn. You purchase something else to kind of combat that. Maybe they have a lot of money, you start building some of the stealing establishments. Maybe they are starting to focus on some ranches and the cheese factories. Maybe you grab into those yourself, so that way they don't have every single one and don't have this huge payday later in the game. And I think the game is light enough and fun enough to kind of warrant this dice rolling mechanism in this game. It understands that that's what it is, and it lets you work around that rather than forcing you to, trade and negotiate and try to maneuver with people when you don't necessarily have an equal opportunity all the time. You can get unlucky in this game, but at least you can try and work around it. The second thing I got nailed on by people online was that I said that Settlers of Catan was poor game design because it wasn't as fun as I would like. It sit there for long periods of time, feeling really unlucky. I didn't think the trading mechanism is great. And I have to say, one of the interesting things about Machi Koro is I have to introduce this kind of variant into it to really enjoy it as much as I would like. Now, I kind of laughed on some of the comments online on Board Game Geek. People were saying, nailing me because I said Settlers was designed poorly, but then giving me a whole bunch of variants to make it better. Well, that seems to kind of indicate that it's not perfect, but the same thing is here. But at least with the expansions coming out in the next month or so, the Harbor expansion, that variant I'm talking about in this review is part of the actual game. That's kind of where it's going. And the other little thing, there could be times where you're sitting around doing nothing, but again, in this new expansion coming out, that kind of is cleaned up a little bit by the way they've designed the game. Now, I don't think that this is a perfect game coming directly out of the box as it is. I'm looking forward to the future, but I think all the elements are there. It's quick, it's fun, it lets you build a kind of a neat little city, the art is really nice, and I think it's all there, and it's a great way for me to introduce new players to this kind of dice rolling game, and really has replaced Settlers for me. Altogether, I think Machi Koro is a really fun game. It's light, it's fun to try and build these kind of crazy cities. I like the artwork and the way it's presented. The cards are really nice. I didn't really get like a bum version. I've heard some people had some issues, but Pandasaurus has been taking care of that. The dice are nice. Everything about it is just fun and light and really introductory game. But at the same time, if you want to play this with the 4 players, it's really fun and it changes with each level. Those kind of cards that let you steal money from other players are way different in the 4-player game than they are in the 2-player game. 2-player, it doesn't happen that much and they kind of get put to the side. But in 4-player, there's opportunities to steal coins from people all the time, which is great. And I like that at each level it's a little bit different. I think the length of the game is perfect for what it is. I was never frustrated by being unlucky in this game, knowing that I could always work around the little bits and pieces and issues that I was having. Maybe at 11 I really wanted never came up, but at least I could quickly change for a different strategy. I wasn't just completely hamstrung by not getting that 11. And I think all that works together really well to make a really nice introductory game that a lot of people are really going to love and really replace some of these other introductory games. It's really user friendly. And I think anyone who is interested in any of that dice rolling, building, kind of almost press your luck a little bit, would be interested in this game. Why the hell isn't this box square? Oh my god.